Welcome back, everyone, to your daily English dose.
Great to be here.
Today, we are diving deep into something pretty universal for English learners, procrastination.
Ah, yes. That feeling.
You know it, right? You should be studying vocabulary, maybe tackling that tricky grammar point.
And suddenly, organizing your sock drawer feels incredibly urgent.
Exactly. It's that universal roadblock. And if you're listening, chances are you felt that guilt, that frustration.
Definitely. But we want to shift your perspective today. Seriously, stop blaming yourself. It's not about being lazy or lacking willpower when you put off your English study.
Okay, so what's the mission then?
Our mission is to use brain science, actual research, to help you sort of hack your own motivation system. We want to give you a practical roadmap for consistency.
I love that. It's liberating, isn't it? Procrastination isn't some, moral failing.
Not at all. It's biological. It's how our brains are wired. But the good news is we can work with that wiring. We can even rewire it.
So we're aiming for real, lasting change in your language journey, not just quick fixes. Okay, let's get into it. This internal conflict.
Right? We need to start with what's actually happening inside your head when you think about sitting down to study English. It's basically a battle
A battle between who?
between your emotional center, the amygdala, and your brain's command center, the prefrontal cortex.
Okay, the amygdala, that's the primitive part,
Yeah.
okay, the emotional core.
Exactly. It sees a difficult or maybe uncertain task, like, trying a conversation in English when you're not confident.
Yeah, scary stuff sometimes.
And the amygdala interprets that difficulty as a threat. Its response is simple. Danger, avoid, run away. It wants immediate relief from that stress.
So it pushes you towards easier things, like scrolling social media, short-term comfort.
Precisely. But fighting that impulse is your prefrontal cortex. Think of it as the CEO of your brain.
The rational part, planning, self-control, thinking about the future.
That's its job. It's supposed to suppress those escape signals from the amygdala and keep you focused on the long-term goal. Like actually becoming fluent in English.
But that CEO gets tired, right?
It does. And that's the failure point. Stress, being tired, not sleeping enough. These things really dull the prefrontal cortex's power.
Which is common for language learners juggling life.
Absolutely. And when the prefrontal cortex is weakened, it just can't fight off those impulsive urges anymore. The urge to watch one more video instead of studying that grammar chapter, it wins easily.
Okay, so that explains the avoidance. But you mentioned a cycle, something more dangerous.
Yes, this is where it gets really problematic for learning itself. Putting things off doesn't just waste time. The delay creates this chronic pressure.
Like a low-level background stress.
Exactly. And that causes your body to pump out too much of the stress hormone, cortisol.
But isn't some stress good, like meeting a deadline?
That's a great point. Short-term, acute stress can focus you. But the chronic stress from constant procrastination, that keeps cortisol levels high.
And high cortisol is bad news for the brain.
Very bad. It reduces your concentration, makes it harder to form memories, and get this, it can physically damage the hippocampus.
Whoa! The hippocampus, isn't that vital for memory?
It is. It's the brain region that processes and sort of solidifies new memories, like new English vocabulary or grammar rules.
So let me get this straight. When I put off studying difficult English because it feels hard, the stress I create by avoiding it actually makes my brain less able to learn and remember that stuff next time.
That's a vicious cycle. It's truly self-sabotaging. Delay leads to stress. Stress hurts memory and focus. Poor memory makes the task feel even harder.
Which leads to more delay. Wow, okay, we have to break that cycle.
We do, right at the beginning, at that avoidance step.
And that avoidance you mentioned is fueled by our brain wanting instant rewards. Dopamine.
Yes, precisely. Our brains are wired to seek immediate rewards. Procrastination is often driven by something called current biases.
Current bias, meaning we prefer pleasure now.
Exactly. A strong preference for short-term relief, like avoiding study, over the long-term gain, like eventually achieving fluency. It feels better right now to watch TV.
Which brings us to a really crucial point you made about motivation. Most people think,
I'll start studying when I feel motivated.
right, wait for the feeling.
But the science shows that's completely backwards.
Yes, they're saying the action has to come first.
Exactly. Taking even a small action, just opening your English textbook, that triggers something in the brain. It releases dopamine, gets that seeking circuit going.
Ah, the waku circuit, the seeking.
Right. And then, only after you've started doing something, does the brain generate that feeling of motivation. Psychologists call it work arousal.
Work arousal. So the big takeaway for everyone listening is?
Action creates motivation. Motivation doesn't magically appear first. You have to act first.
That changes everything. Okay, that's the foundation for hacking this procrastination thing. We understand the enemy within. Let's talk about the hacks. How do we trick the amygdala?
Okay, hack number 1 builds directly on that work arousal principle. Since motivation comes after starting, we just need to make starting ridiculously easy.
Lower the barrier to entry, basically.
Exactly. Bypass that initial fear response from the amygdala.
This sounds like the 5-minute rule.
That's a great example. Don't tell yourself, I have to study for an hour. Just commit to trying the task for 5 minutes.
It's like practice 5 minutes of pronunciation drills or read just one paragraph.
Yes, that tiny commitment overcomes the inertia. And often you find yourself just keeping going. Because you've started, the dopamine is flowing.
Okay, and we can make it even easier than 5 minutes.
We can, with the 2-minute rule, which James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits.
Right, break it down even smaller.
The idea is to redefine any new habit into something that takes 2 minutes or less.
So instead of the big, scary study English?
You define the task as open the textbook to page 1 or put on my English learning podcast.
Ah, okay. It lowers that psychological hurdle so much it feels almost silly not to do it.
Exactly. Because it's easier to just do the tiny thing than to resist it.
Okay, so we've started. We tricked the amygdala, but how do we keep going? Maintain focus. That's the next hurdle.
Right. And for that, we have hack number 2, the Pomodoro technique.
Ah, the classic. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off.
We all know it, but the science behind it is pretty cool. Attention resource theory suggests our focus naturally starts to dip significantly after about 20, maybe 30 minutes.
So the 25-minute work block is kind of biologically optimal. It minimizes fatigue.
Pretty much. It helps prevent that burnout feeling when you're tackling something challenging like complex grammar.
But the break, it's not just about resting your eyes, is it? You mentioned something about memory consolidation.
Yes. This is fascinating. Most people use that 5-minute break to, check their phone or grab coffee.
Guilty.
Yeah. But during that short break, your brain, specifically the hippocampus, is actually working incredibly hard. Research suggests it replays the information you just learned.
Replays it.
At about 20 times the normal speed, it's rapidly consolidating that new vocabulary or grammar rule into memory.
20 times. Okay, so the break is actually crucial for learning, not just resting.
Absolutely crucial. It helps restore your brain's ability to concentrate, your gamma waves, so you're actually refreshed and ready for the next 25-minute sprint. It makes the learning stick.
Mind blown. Okay, so we know how to start small and how to maintain focus with Pomodoro. But doing that every single time, relying on willpower alone sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. Willpower is a finite resource. That's why we need a system, an automatic loop. This brings us to habit atomism.
Building systems, not just relying on effort, like in Atomic Habits.
Exactly. The goal is to make your English study routine feel almost automatic, so you don't need massive willpower each time. It involves 4 steps.
Okay, step 1.
The cue. Make the trigger for your study habit super obvious.
How do we do that?
Use if-then planning. You decide in advance what will trigger your study session. Like if I finish my morning coffee, then I review 10 English flashcards.
Ah, so you take the decision-making out of the moment. Less effort for the prefrontal cortex later.
Precisely. Step 2 is craving. Make the habit attractive.
Make studying attractive, huh?
You'd use habit stacking. Pair something you want to do with the study habit you need to do.
Okay, give me an example.
How about, after I practice writing 5 English sentences, then I will watch 1 episode of my favorite anime. You link the effort to an immediate, desirable reward. Keeps the dopamine happy.
Got it. Link the chore to a treat. What's step 3?
Response. Make the action itself incredibly easy.
This is where the 2-minute rule comes back in.
Yes. And also organizing your environment. If your English textbook and notebook are already out in your desk, visible, ready to go.
Less friction to actually starting. Makes sense. Remove the barriers.
Exactly. Minimize the steps between thinking about studying and doing it. And finally, step 4, reward.
Make it satisfying.
Immediately satisfying. Use a habit tracker, maybe just a simple calendar where you put a big check mark right after you finish your 2-minute task or your Pomodoro session.
That little visual win.
That visual proof of progress gives you an instant hit of dopamine, reinforcing the whole loop, making you want to do it again tomorrow.
Okay, cue, craving, response, reward. That's a solid system. But systems need tuning, right? Generic rules don't work for everyone.
Absolutely. You need to personalize it.
Hmm.
A big factor is your internal body clock, your chronotype.
Ah, whether you're a morning person or a night owl.
Exactly. And this is largely genetic. You need to figure out which one you are. Are you sharpest in the morning, or do you come alive in the evening?
And then what? Schedule study accordingly.
Yes. Schedule your most difficult English tasks, maybe writing a complex email, or doing really challenging listening practice for when your natural energy and concentration are at their peak. Work with your biology.
Don't fight your natural rhythm. Makes sense. What about the study environment itself? Does that matter much?
Surprisingly, yes. Some interesting research here. For instance, room temperature. Most offices aim for around 20 degrees C.
Yeah, standard.
But studies suggest the optimal temperature for peak brain function might actually be a bit warmer, maybe 22 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Interesting. What else? Sound, silence, music.
Well, complete silence isn't always best for everyone. Certain natural sounds, like the sound of a flowing river, have been shown to increase brainwaves linked to concentration.
Like those background noise apps.
Ah.
And lighting.
For night owls studying late, there's something called the darkness effect. Slightly dimmed lighting, rather than harsh bright lights, might actually help concentration by reducing visual distractions.
Huh. So it's about creating this environment of least resistance.
That's a great way to put it. A frictionless path towards consistent study.
We've covered physical hacks, system hacks, environment hacks. But what about the language we use, our own thoughts? Can positive self-talk really help us fight procrastination?
Oh, absolutely. Think of positive self-talk and self-suggestion as tools to directly activate your prefrontal cortex.
Like giving your inner CEO some instructions.
Exactly. Verbal commands that help override the amygdala's fear signals. So when you're facing a new, maybe slightly scary English challenge, like giving a presentation,
What's the best phrase?
a simple, powerful Phrygian, you can do it. It works for yourself or encouraging someone else.
Okay. What about when you hit that learning plateau? Progress feels stalled.
That's a tough spot. That's when you need anything. Stay strong. It acknowledges the difficulty, but encourages persistence.
And for, like, a temporary setback, a bad quiz score.
Remind yourself, don't give up. It frames it as temporary.
And if things are going well, steady progress.
Keep the momentum with quitting. Keep it up. And if you're launching something ambitious, like finally deciding to study abroad,
No big.
then it's go for it. Real enthusiastic encouragement.
It's also useful for learners to know how to talk about goals specifically, right? There are different ways to say you achieved something.
Yes, nuances matter. Achieve your goal is probably the most general. Good for personal goals like improving fluency overall.
Okay, what about reach your target?
That often implies something more specific, maybe numerical, like reaching your target of studying 5 hours this week.
Got it. And hit the mark.
That usually means you achieved the expected standard or quality. Like you gave that English presentation and it went exactly as well as you'd hoped. You hit the mark.
Useful distinctions. Let's maybe wrap this up by connecting the science back to some wisdom from people who really understood productivity.
Good idea. These quotes really nail down the key principles.
Mm.
On just getting started, that principle of work arousal. Walt Disney said it perfectly.
What did he say?
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing.
Simple as that. Stop talking about learning English. Just open the book for 2 minutes.
Exactly. And for anyone held back by perfectionism, which is often just the amygdala fearing failure,
Yeah, that's a big one.
Harry Truman had the answer. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction.
A small, messy start is way better than waiting for the perfect time that never comes.
Couldn't say it better. And finally, summing up the whole idea of building systems over relying on sheer effort, Will Durant said,
Let's hear it.
excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Focus on building that consistent system of learning, and excellence will follow.
Yeah, that really brings it all together. Okay, so we're at the end of this deep dive, the big message.
Procrastination isn't you. It's a bug, a hackable feature of your brain.
And the key is to stop beating yourself up about willpower and start building smarter systems. Use those small steps, the 2-minute rule, the Pomodoro technique.
To activate your brain's own reward system, that dopamine flow.
You really can work with your brain, not against it.
Absolutely. And the knowledge we've shared today means you now have the power to start rewiring your brain for more consistent, effective English study.
So what's the final thought for our listeners?
Remember this, your future fluency, your future success in English, it isn't decided tomorrow or next week. It's decided by the small, intentional actions you choose to take today.
Understanding the science gives you the power to take that first tiny step.
Exactly. Take that step.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us. And thank you all for joining us. We really encourage you to try applying even just one of these ideas to your English study today.
You can do it. Thanks for tuning in to your daily English dose.